Hello dear students, welcome to my channel Excel in English. Today we will discuss chapter 3 from your Kaveri textbook, which is Winds of Change. Now why this title? Well, when we think of winds, we usually imagine a cool gust of air, right? But in this chapter, it also represents change over time. At the same time, it connects to the fans which create wind, showing how these simple fans, these simple objects have evolved and changed through history. So in this chapter, we will discover that these fans are not just tools to keep us cool, but also important parts of our culture and tradition, which are now slowly changing with the modern world. Let's start by looking at where it all began. The word pankha or pankha originates from the word pankh, which means feather of a bird. So two different spellings for the same word pankha, which originates from the word pankh, and this word pankh means the feather of a bird. This shows that the early fans were inspired by feathers of birds. Pankha is used to refer to all fans, whereas the word pankhi denotes a small plumed fan used in ancient India. Remember this distinction. The word pankha is a general term for all types of fans, but pankhi specifically refers to a small fan which is plumed, means decorated with feathers. Evidence of the existence and use of pankhi in India can be found in Buddhist wall paintings at Ajanta. You all must know that the Ajanta caves are a group of very old rock-cut caves in Maharashtra, known for their beautiful Buddhist paintings and sculptures. Now in these paintings we can see the pankhi, which is an evidence or proof that they were used in ancient India. People used them, knew about them, so they drew their pictures, isn't it? These wall paintings date back to the 2nd century CE. Here CE stands for Common Era, used to denote the current ongoing historical era, just like AD. So this means the paintings are almost 2000 years old. Other representations of the pankha can be found in embroidery work, sculptures and carvings. This means that the pankha was so important that artists didn't just make the fans. They also included the images of the fans in different forms of art like embroidery, that is decorative patterns stitched on cloth, sculptures, that is stone statues, and carvings, meaning wooden or stone designs. In ancient times, pankhas were used in temples to fan deities. They were also used in royal courts to fan kings. So fans had a very respectful role in the past. In temples, they were used to gently fan gods and goddesses cool, and in the grand palaces of kings, they were used by servants to provide a royal breeze to the rulers. Pankhas varied in size from a tiny 2-inch one to large ones, requiring a person's full arm strength to move them. These fans came in all sorts of sizes. Some were very small, just few inches, while others were so big and heavy that a person needed lot of strength, physical power of the arm just to wave them. Over time, pankhas became significant cultural goods distributed through trade routes. They were considered exotic and stylish. This means that people didn't just use fans. They started buying and selling them as special items. Because they were so beautiful and unique, they were traded along famous old routes and were also seen as very fashionable and exotic, which means they seemed exciting and rare, as if coming from a different or faraway place. Although there was substantial commonality in their use across India, different villages and towns developed their own varieties of traditional pankhas. Means even though people all over India used fans for the same basic reason, to get a breeze. Each region created its own traditional versions, that is, its own special type of pankhas with different designs, locally available materials, and unique styles which reflected their own unique culture. Each place developed pankhas with distinct materials or a variety of intricate designs that set them apart from one another. Intricate designs mean very detailed, complex patterns. Because each region used different materials and distinct designs, you could tell exactly which part of India a fan came from just by looking at it. Bamboo, cane, palm leaf, silk, brass, leather, and silver pankhas with decorative beads and stones were used depending on geographies, cultures, and traditional rituals. Look at this amazing list. From simple things like bamboo and palm leaves to expensive things like silk and silver. People even decorated them with beads and shiny stones. The materials and designs, of course, depended on the geographies, that is, the region, its culture, and its traditions. In modern times, the use of pankhas has been restricted to decorative purposes and they have become traditional craft items in India. Now we have the electric fans and ACs, so the hand fans are not used much. Instead, we use them to decorate our homes or keep them as symbols of our history. They are now valued as craft items, meaning they are appreciated for the skill and the art used to make them. The structure of each fan reflects the cultural core of the region that crafts it. It means that the way a fan is built tells a story about the heart and soul of the place it comes from. That's a beautiful thought. For instance, the Appliqué hand fan of Rajasthan is an antique pankha made of pieces of fabric in different shapes and patterns sewn onto another cloth with the use of ornamental needlework. So, in Rajasthan, they make a special kind of fan using a technique called applique. Applique is actually a type of craft which is made by stitching different pieces of cloth together in beautiful patterns by using decorative stitching. The process you can see in this picture over here. Furthermore, the Zardozi hand fan of Rajasthan differs in its use of glittering ornate and encrusted gold thread work. Now, Zardozi is a famous style of embroidery that uses shiny gold threads. These fans are ornate, meaning highly decorated and encrusted. That is, the gold work is so thick that it feels like it is built right into the fabric. In Rajasthan, temple hand fans are popular too. These are made by engraving brass and have a long handle. So in temples, the fans are made of brass, which is a shiny gold colored metal. They have patterns engraved or carved on into the metal surface, and they also have long handles so that the priests can fan the deities easily. The painted hand fan, a cardboard pankha featuring various images, is usually offered to gods. So these cardboard pankhas are offered to gods in temples as a sign of respect. The adjoining state of Gujarat has its own indigenous take on pankhas. This means that the neighboring state of Rajasthan, which is Gujarat, has its own special way of making fans that is unique to its local culture and history. Indigenous means originating or occurring naturally in a particular place, that is native to that place. These hand fans are elegant, pure cotton-based fans embellished with mirror work. These fans are made from pure soft cotton cloth and then embellished, which means decorated with tiny, shiny mirrors, the style for which Gujarat is world famous. The beads hand fan is covered with colorful beads and has a silver handle. Another variety is the bead fan. It is completely covered with bright, colorful beads and has a shiny silver handle. Gujarat is the center for bead craft in India, and these dainty pankhas are commonly used as wall decorations. The pankhas are described as dainty, meaning they are small, pretty, and delicate. People usually hang these fans on the walls to make their homes look beautiful. Kutch is recognized for its hand-stitched leather hand fans decorated with thread and wool at its seams. You all must have heard that Kutch, which is famous primarily for the Run of Kutch, the world's largest white salt desert. Now this region of Kutch is famous for leather pankhas. These fans are stitched by hand and decorated with thread and wool at the seams, that is along the edges, making the fan strong as well as beautiful. Gujarat's industrious home-based women workers have worked tirelessly in the handicraft of pankha making. This is an important point. The fans are made by industrious, that is very hard-working women who work from their own homes, putting in hours of efforts to keep this traditional craft alive. To produce embroidered hand fans with traditional mirrorwork and cross-stitch embroidery in different shapes and sizes. So these women make fans using cross-stitch embroidery, which is a special way of sewing in the shape of an X, and the famous mirror work of Gujarat. Because they do it by hand, they can make them in all sorts of unique shapes and sizes. Leaving the deserts of the west, let's now travel to the lush greenery of Bengal. Artisans in Bengal make delicate pankhas from the beautiful milky white spongy center of the Sola. So what exactly is Sola? It is a water plant, also known as the Indian cork. Now the soft spongy stem of this wild growing water plant Sola is used for making various items in Bengal. Because it is so soft, the skilled craftsmen of Bengal can carve it into very light pankhas. The palm leaf hand fans are locally referred to as tal patar pankha. Another very popular fan in Bengal is made from the leaves of the palm tree. In the local Bengali language, they are called tal patar pankha, where tal means palm and pata means leaf. They are easy to carry and are perpetually kept as an article of possession in Bengali households. These pankhas are light and easy to carry. So they are perpetually, means always, kept at home as a common household item in Bengal. Other states in India have their own variations of fans as well. The fur hand fans of Uttar Pradesh are adorned with pure gold, silver zari, silk and satin frills. So our journey across India continues. In Uttar Pradesh, a special type of pankha called fur is beautifully decorated with gold, silver thread, silk and satin frills. Satin frills means soft, shiny, decorative edges made from satin cloth that make the fan look more elegant. The large palm leaf fans of Odisha as well as Bihar's colorful and sturdy bamboo hand fans are all recognized across India due to their antiquity and rarity. Now we look at Odisha and Bihar. Odisha is famous for its large fans made from palm leaves, while Bihar creates colorful fans out of bamboo that are very sturdy, that is strong and solid, cannot be easily broken. These fans are famous all over India because of their antiquity, meaning they carry a very old history and rarity, that is they are hard to find. So that makes them special treasures of our culture. Many tribes in India have adopted this handicraft to make their own versions of the handheld fan, we see that instead of just copying from others, our tribes across India have created their own unique versions that represent their specific tribal identity. Materials such as grass and metal are embedded into the fans using bamboo sticks and grass. They use natural materials like grass and metal and then embed them, that is, fix firmly into the fans with the help of bamboo sticks and other plant-based materials like grass. Cane and palm leaves are used, with silk and brass being reserved for antique pieces of these hand fans. So for everyday fans, they use common materials like cane and palm leaves. However, for very special or old antique fans, they use expensive materials like soft silk and shiny brass metal, which are reserved or saved only for those special items. The use of geometrical patterns and the white ink and red background combinations have helped the tribes create multiple beautifully designed pankhas. This is a classic tribal art style. First, they often use geometrical patterns like triangles, circles, and squares. Second, they also love a specific color contrast, which is painting with bright white ink on a bold red background. This combination makes their fans look very striking and artistic. With time and the advent of technology and innovative creations, the beautiful culture of Pankhas runs the risk of slowly losing its presence among Indians. Because we now have modern inventions like high-speed electric fans, air conditioners and coolers, many people have stopped using hand fans. This means the rich culture of making and using pankhas runs the risk, means it's in danger of slowly disappearing from our daily lives. Once made for personal use, over time this handicraft has transformed into a commercial business and now provides some sort of livelihood to India's artisans. In the past, pankhas were made for personal use at home, but today it has become a commercial business, meaning they are made to be sold in markets and fairs. This is actually a good thing for the artisans or the artists, as this has become a source of their income. The slight increase in popularity and demand is significantly factored by the different versions of the pankha being crafted. Recently, more people have started buying hand fans again. This is mainly because artisans are creating so many different versions, some for decoration, some for weddings, and some as art pieces. These creative new designs keep the demand alive and keep the pankha survive in the modern world. One of the first steps to preserve the essence of the craft is by celebrating pankhas and appreciating the culture, stories and artistry that this handicraft invokes. Actually, to keep the craft alive, we first need to value it. When we celebrate the pankha, we aren't just looking at a fan. We are respecting the history, the local stories and the artistry, that is the skill and creativity behind it. This allows contemporary pankha makers to demonstrate their craft and regain its popularity. This helps contemporary, that is modern or present day artisans to show their skills to others and make pankhas popular again. It also helps provide them with a commercial platform to create a sustainable livelihood. So it gives artists a commercial platform, means a place to sell their work so that they can earn a steady income and support their families. Initiatives such as pankha making workshops, both within and outside the handicraft exhibitions, help spread awareness about the beauty and importance of this craft in India's culture. One great way to help is through the workshops, where people can actually learn how to make a fan themselves. These events teach everyone why the Pankha is such an important part of India's soul, ensuring that the next generation, like all of you can continue to appreciate its beauty. And with that, we come to the end of this chapter. This chapter, Winds of Change, beautifully shows us how a simple object like a pankha, a hand fan, carries history, culture, and creativity within it. Even though times are changing, it's important for us to value and preserve such traditions. After all, these small crafts tell the big story of who we are. I hope you have all enjoyed learning this chapter with me. Study well, stay happy, stay connected. Thank you.